This course is Reflexology of the Feet. Hello, my name is Heather, and I will be your instructor. Reflexology is the application of using pressure on a reflex point, which brings about balance to the body's systems. These trigger points connect to organs in the body. There are 12 main meridians in the body, and the energy channels are connected to these points. The pressure points are agreed upon and studied through different cultures all over the world. In Egypt, we can see evidence of pictorials all along Akhenaten's tomb in 2330 BC. There was also other medical procedures that were passed down. We see in the classic Chinese emperors, the yellow emperors in classic of internal medicine, there was a chapter based on examining the foot method and beginning discussion in print about the connection of life force and the points and the area of the feet. This was a wonderful path. They have paths all over the world. As you walk along them, they're going to help to stimulate the points and the nerve endings. So reflexology, through the nerve endings, we are calming the body. The nerve impulses are received through the parasympathetic branches of the autonomic nervous system. Manual pressure applied to the feet, stimulated through the walking of the paths of the rocks, or a therapist is going to stimulate the nerve endings through the narrow pathways of the central nervous system. So walking along these pathways is going to help give your a self treatment. Reflexology is great for improving circulation, relaxation, toxin removal, the nervous system stimulation, a decrease of migraines, headaches, and there's potential advantages of reflexology massage at the Mayo Clinic helping with headaches. So reflexology is used to reduce stress, psychological aspects that build up in the head, causing headaches. Also, it helps to control the endorphin release for pain. We're improving the blood flow. Separate studies have shown that reflexology increases the blood flow to the feet, brain, kidneys, and intestines. Reflexology improves memory, physical reaction speed, boosts cognitive ability when the neural pathways are opened. It is a complement to any other medical care, but should not be used in replacement. And we are not allowed to give medical advice. Reflexology is a clothed reflexology treatment are practiced with clients fully clothed. Make sure you prepare a treatment having some warm towels, which is suggested for their feet. In the early 1900s, Dr. Williams Fitzgerald carried out work that was very significant on zone therapy, specific pressure points to release pain. And he was the founder of the different zones. He used steel instruments, probes, sometimes bands, those clips for hanging your laundry. And he would stimulate the points, and he was studying the reflex applications. He also used combs. His work is recognized in MIR Research Development Clinic and has been carried out to improve technology, equipment. In the early 1930s, we have Anais Ingram, who was the mother of reflexology, and she found the specific targets of reflexology due to the sensitive areas and mapped the whole organs along the whole entire body of the feet using compression and thumb walking techniques, maintaining constant pressure along these zones while she worked along the foot. And many people practice thumb walking, which was by Anais Ingram. They have the longitude zones, as you see here, where the body is broken up, along with the zones pointing out the organs. And then just going back up the body, the longitude zones. And their relationship to the organs within the body. This is showing trigger points along the meridians throughout the body. Just a quick view so people can really see all the points. A lot of people, you hear them talk about chakras, but there are 7,200 nadas throughout the whole entire body. So here's a quick peek of an extension of more points connecting throughout and branching to all the organs in the body. These are the 12 meridians, how we can see how it's all connected. Now we have the horizontal lines where we break up the head and the neck in the first one, shoulder and chest in the upper area, the heart, lung area, and then right where the abdomen. So we go across the diaphragm and it breaks into the abdomen, the organs, the pelvic line, and then the lower pelvic region is the heels. And here are some more charts. Here's another one showing it with some color, breaking it off, relating to the whole body. So remember the toes, the brain, the sinuses, the ears, that whole area. And then when we get to the chest, that's where we're going to have the lungs. And then that line between the lungs and abdomen is where the diaphragm lays. And then we have our internal organs, the abdomen organs. Zone 3, the breast, stomach, spleen, pancreas, kidney, adrenals, small intestine, large intestine, and then we have the pelvic region. And now we're going to go into the map and specific reflex points along the feet. So once we take into the zones in consideration, it's going to make it easier for you to remember where all these points are that are laid out along the feet. So you can see in the region, you see along where the pinky, you have your shoulder, and then along the inside, right under your big toe, we have the spine that goes all the way down to the heel of the foot. You can see the lungs, all the organs, the mid area. The fleshy part of the upper foot was the lungs. Oh, there it is showing the lungs, I'm sorry. It's up higher. I don't really like this picture. And then it goes and see the small intestine. And then you have the ascending and transverse colon. And on the other foot, you have the transverse and descending on the left foot. So you see the sciatic nerve, pelvis. It shows the insides. There's the yellow, the diaphragm. Sinuses. As you learn to become more sensitive to what you're feeling under your fingertips, it will indicate what areas needed work. If it's more sensitive, if you're feeling heat, was indication of inflammation possibly. Areas that feel cold or there's muscle atrophy in the area may need more circulation, stimulation to those areas. So as you start to notice, your hands will just draw to the points on the feet. Remember that this is a clothed, unless you're doing a full body treatment. Warm towels feel wonderful. And it's always important to ask your client to breathe as you are pressing on specific points. You can ask your client to take a deep breath in, and as they breathe out, lightly push into the point and hold pressure. So now I'm going to show you and share my screen some specific points. Let's go to the lower abdomen and pelvic area. This is on the left foot, the right foot, pelvic region. And then we have the sciatic nerve. And then we have the sciatic nerve on the left foot. These are the genital areas. Small intestines. Here's the small intestine on the right foot. This is a great app. It's called Total Reflexology. This is the ascending colon. I definitely suggest a great app to download. Transverse colon. And then here's the transverse colon. On the right foot. The left foot, I'm sorry. So first we're going to work the right foot and then the left foot for the colon. Then we have the forearm, the lower leg. Descending colon. Small intestine. Sigmoid colon. And renal. Let's see if I can get renal. The spleen. Duodenum. There we go. Kidney. Here's the uterine tube, the adrenals. Adrenals are a great point to hit this whole circle. The kidneys, gallbladder. Kidneys helps stimulate our life flow. Our solar plexus, this is a great point to start. Helps increase the energy flow. Stomach. Solar plexus. And again, you have your client take a deep breath and then push in and hold. Heart. Lungs. This is a great area to thumb walk along. Spleen. Kidney. Adrenal. Stomach. Solar plexus. Heart again, and these are all the hook and back to really target these organs, which you're going to learn. Thymus, heart, thyroid, trapezius, heart. It's a whole heart zone. Then we have the upper lymphatic pathways. Shoulder. The heart. Thyroid, let me get parathyroid. The neck is that area is usually sore. Then the pituitary, penile, cerebrum, pineal gland, sinuses. It's great to just hold those sinus points for a few seconds. Especially after you flip someone over, people get stuffed in that prone position. The eyes, maxillary sinus, upper lymphatic pathways, trapezius again. Pituitary, cerebrum, skull cap, brain, sinus, neck, thyroid, so there's the thoracic vertebrae of the spine, here's the cervical vertebrae of the spine, and there is the thoracic again, and then the lumbar vertebrae. See if I can zoom in. And the bladder, and then the coccyx, the sacrum, sciatic nerve, there we have the shoulder joint again, axillary node, thoracic vertebrae, upper arm, elbow, knee, lower leg, forearm, and that's the wrist area, lymphatic, pelvis area, testes, the ovaries, abdomen region, lymphatic tube, fallopian tube, I'm sorry. Your appendix, and then the outer side of the knee. These points are usually very sensitive, lymphatic system, and tender. The sternum, the pelvis, maxillary sinus from this, looking at the front of the foot. Then we have the mouth, nose, throat, chest area, thyroid, the abdomen region, upper lymphatic pathway, here's the fallopian tube, and the groin lymphatic system, lymph nodes, and the cervical vertebrae from this view, thoracic vertebrae, and lumbar vertebrae, and then the sacrum, lymphatic system from that view. again, the foveum tube and the groin, lymph system. Pelvis region. This area is usually very sensitive on people. Inside of the knee. So it's good to work these areas, but just the pressure may change. The kneecap. So now I'm going to show you some reflexology techniques used in the application of reflexology. So finger walking, we're going to go along all the zones using the pointer finger. You're only moving the first joint. You're going to have your finger We're doing 3 sets along each of the 5 longitude zones, relaxing the central nervous system. As we finger walk, bending our first phalange from the heel of the foot, walking all the way up to the toe. finger walking along the 5 horizontal zones, or sorry, longitude zones. And we're going to apply the same technique, but this time with our thumb, walking along with our thumb, which is going to be a firmer pressure, starting at the heel of the foot, walking all the way up to the toe, bending our finger joint as we steady pressure. We walk up the foot, all 5 zones with our thumb. And then this one we're also going to apply 3 times on each foot. With your thumb, you'll be able to push in with a much firmer pressure. Right now I'm just spreading the tissue. And now I'm going to apply another series of thumb walking along all 5 of the longitude zones, using a steady pressure as I walk up each zone. And by now your client is drifting off into a nice, deep, relaxed state. Their muscle tissue should start feeling a little bit more relaxed, not as firm. And now we're going to do the hook and back. This is a little bit more of a trigger where you want to go on a specific trigger point. A deeper point. And we're going to use one hand and using your thumb like a hook, you're going to push in and then up and pull back. Push in, up, and pull back. And this will just allow you to go in a little bit deeper into the point in a different fashion. So your thumb is pushing the tip of the thumb, and then it's going to push up and back and release and kind of walk into the next point. You don't have to finger walk each zone. Like in the other one, you can just move along the points that feel that needed to be triggered. So this is more for specific triggers. And again, you're going to repeat this on each side of the foot and just working out the tender areas and the points that feel tender. And for each person and each client, it will be different. Now we're going to do rotation on a pressure point. Using one hand, I like to hold the ankle. I like to apply with my thumb on different pressure points while I'm holding the ankle, and move my thumb in different spots along the ankle. And then with my other hand, I hold the foot and I rotate clockwise. And then counterclockwise. Sometimes I like to go work in the ankle points, open up that lower region, get a little bit more circulation going. And then again, I'm going to find a point. And when I'm going to hold that point, and I find a point, and then I'm going to rotate their foot clockwise, keeping a steady pressure. And then rotate in the other direction, counterclockwise. Make sure you do this on both sides. And then again, you can find a point that needs to be released. And now rotation, which again is clockwise and counterclockwise, loosening the waist area. And pull, holding firmly, and rotating clockwise several times. And then counterclockwise. And then opening up points along the ankles really helps get that circulation. And you can do this as many times as you feel necessary. Depending if they have a lot of blockage going on in their ankle, this very helps open that. Now we have toe rotation. We're going to hold the foot again with one hand. With the other hand, we're going to grab the toes, pulling traction. You can rotate the toes and then gently traction each toe. I like to rotate along their knuckles. So in between each phalange, kind of rotate a little and then gently pull back. And again, we're going to rotate all of the toes. And remember what we do on one side, we want to make sure to keep the body even, and repeat on the other side as well. Just gently rotate at the phalanges, and then pull on each toe. This also helps open up all the pathways. There's a lot of ending and entry points along the toes. And now I'm going to lung press. Just holding. Doing circular motions. This helps open up the bronchial area, the diaphragm. Again, we're doing the lung press with the flat of my fist. My fingers are moving in circles and applying pressure. And we're moving along the upper pressure. Bless you, Mike. Now we're going to do some traction, which is just pulling the foot back. To conclude, and now I'd like to show you some here's a lung press. Some more specific points, the solar plexus hold. This is a great starting point to hold. Now I'd like to get into the systems, the cardiovascular system. You know, the brainstem, the heart, solar plexus area, diaphragm area. And we're going to finger walk over these areas several times. This is a great point to relieve tension through the body when you have headaches. We're going to use the hook and back at the brain reflex and walk down the web of the toe. This will help relieve tension through the neck as well. helps with migraines, going along those sinus areas as well to release pressure in the face. Holding along the skull, the brain stem. Next, for high blood pressure, we're going to walk along the solar plexus area several times, working along the diaphragm. For low blood pressure, that can cause fatigue, so we want to work the adrenal area to help regulate the blood pressure, stimulate flow again, more circulation. For heart attack, we're just going to help with artery blockage by holding at the pituitary gland, and this will help revive circulation. And we're just going to hold this stationary. And then we're going to work along the stomach points to help relieve abdominal pain, constipation, discomfort, and then walk along the right foot, starting at the iliovalve, working crossways along the transverse valve and down. The left foot. And here's the direction. We don't want to go against the direction and constipate somebody. Next, we have points for the endocrine system, stimulating the pituitary reflex. Let's use the hook and back technique. And you can also thumb walk along the thyroid, parathyroid, holding the foot. You can walk through the pancreas, the prostate reflexes. Rotation of the foot is very helpful to open up the whole prostate area. Waist, the ankle is the waist area, and we want to open that up. Getting the uterus and prostate reflex rotation is very helpful as we thumb walk along the points. So that pressure point rotation. This is great for fibromyalgia. The thyroid and adrenal glands are the most effective points, working the lower back, shoulder, and neck area as well, which are commonly affected. Next, we have the musculoskeletal system. This is the lower back area. We can finger walk along this area, or we can hold for sciatic relief. And again, you can do the holding a point with rotation. Here we have the upper back, spreading with the thumbs, and then you can also rotate of the upper foot and along. Next, we have the nervous system. Walking down the big toe, the brain stem several times. Walking up the middle side of the toe, the pituitary, hypothalamus several times. This helps to calm thoughts. This is great for respiratory, lung reflex, asthma, helps release mucus, chronic coughing. This is great for allergies. Also, the adrenal glands, it helps relieve the inflammation. This is great for the sinuses, helping release pressure along the neck reflexes and adrenal reflexes, releasing more inflammation. These are some reproductive points. Uterus, prostate, and again, the rotation. Holding a point is great to open these areas. We have the urinary system and the kidney, and this is great. I want to open these areas to keep the flow of life going. And this concludes Reflexology of the Feet. And I want to thank you so much for joining me. And please visit Wannaprana Continuing Education to see what other classes are available at wannaprana.com. And you can go to enroll, and please check out my other classes. And I am periodically updating my courses. And again, I appreciate and I thank you so much for joining me in today's lesson in Reflexology of the Feet.